I think we're actually like really close to getting back to 2,400. So how hard could it be? Let's just jump in. Oh, and then we are some high rated challenges from our own subscriber base or our own little viewers here we might go for. But first, here comes, you got to pre-move this. It's the only way this Gambit works. Oh, you got to pre-move. It always encourages them to take that pawn, which is incredible. How's it going, everybody? We're doing a little bit of chess now. And here, you start with this. And this is an interesting Gambit from White's point of view. One of the things I'm going to be trying to do is bringing a queen here for this attack. I play this now because Black is threatening bishop to b4, trying to swap off one of my bishops, but I need to keep this guy. So I put my queen here. If you castle, we go here. Let's start off our chess action here with a little bit of fun. Let's go. H4, I think. I have had this. I've studied this exact position. It's just been a minute. Let's try some H4. If H5, it's G4. Let's go. Nice to see some Risk streamers branching out. Yeah, we played a lot of Risk today, but if you did not see that last video, ooh boy. Ooh boy, I don't know what to tell you. We played probably one of the best Australia games I think anybody's ever played. I think we're one of the top Australia players in the world. All right. I think it doesn't make sense to take on Passant. But if I move over, I'm not really ready with being able to play this yet. But I feel like my position is just quite good. Maybe this thing is weak. I just castle on this other side instead. And the attack we're playing for might be a lot slower. But let's develop. Let's tuck our king away. Let's keep things nice and tidy. Oh, was en passant forced? Ah, shoot. Sorry, we can only meme in one category at a time. Today's meme category was Risk. All right, I castle. I always have ideas of coming in here. Knight g5. I don't understand this at all because knight g5 at some point attacks the rook, but I guess his point is that he's going to move. Wait, now I have h5. Wait, that move doesn't make that much sense, does it? Does his knight go anywhere? He puts the queen in alignment with my king, but I don't think this guy actually goes anywhere. Maybe he does. Maybe this was the idea, but I'm just going to ignore it. Can I completely ignore it? He also attacks this pawn. I don't know that I can completely ignore it. Let's take. Let's open. We can always get our queen back. Does this just win? It doesn't, because he can go here. I don't have this as an option. Maybe I get my... Shoot. Put my queen back. Okay. Let's invest the time into this. Just getting out of the way to make sure nothing's really happening here. What's the best Risk opening? Not the one that you just saw when we go for Australia. The best Risk opening usually is taking the continent where you have the largest amount of troops in. Okay, now I go here. You got to play to your strengths. Okay. Wait, no. Tactics. Tactics, right? Or no tactics. Take. Bishop takes, we can take here. We could also start by taking this. But some line, let's just say we take it so it's easier. Takes. Rook comes in. No. This cannot work for him, right? There's got to be a tactic here. Right? Does he have here? That'd be wild. It'd also be wild if I played f4. That'd be equally fantastic. But I've also identified a checkmate. So if here he gets checkmated, if here he loses a rook, if here I go here, boom! Look at that. That's how we're starting out today in chess. This is a gambit that I actually invented myself, and I was inspired by a Grizz trick game where this idea occurred, but like much later in the game. So here's something you can do if you are a delayed Alpine Sicilian player and they play this. It's this like gambit that like literally nobody has ever done. Let's see how many people have done this. After d4, it's very important that you pre-move bishop to d2. This highly, if you pre-move it, your chances of them taking go up through the roof. I'm not convinced that taking is the very best way to play, But what is amazing about this is if you get this position, which occurs regularly enough, and it's been played like 100 times, I think a lot of them, you'll see the name Zolpi, 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 Zolpi. It's mostly me playing this. It's not bad, like, at all. This is like legitimately one of the good gambits that I've invented that nobody has ever picked up on. You have this immense pressure, and it becomes very difficult for black to solve certain issues. Like, how do you castle safely? The only way is going to be to go to the king side, right? Well, you're going to be able to get a very strong attack. And it's very difficult to ever play d5. This opens up our bishop in a strong way. f5 is sometimes what you need to do, but we kind of saw an example of f5 leading to like an attack for me. It's very fun. And I think what you're meant to do, if you look at like the computer line, it's usually weird stuff involving trying to make trades. Basically, black can solve some opening problems if he can trade light squared bishops or dark squared bishops or get some sort of trade. But keeping everybody on the board makes this very difficult for black. So if they start with this, I would be starting with this, but this is the basic setup. Whenever the knight comes out to c6, let's see what the threat is. The threat is bishop to b4. So whenever it's black's turn, he's trying to trade, which would kind of save him from a lot of difficulty. So I bring the queen out, he gets castled, I play queen e4, and this is a very dangerous attack. Small advantage for white, but also known as insanely dangerous attack. There's only one way to prevent the mate. You play h4. Then if h5, which I'm sure I've faced before, just kidding, some other guy has done it, it's g4 and you just like win. This is just gonna be a crushing defeat for the opponent. I can't even like suggest what they do. I thought I had some game where somebody like took this, but then you can just take back and you're playing h5 and it's just like a winning position for white. So instead, opponent tries f5, which is correct. You have to try something like this. The other alternatives are like d5 or something. And not taking en passant is correct. If I take en passant, black takes back. And it just, I don't know, like it just solves a lot of the cramp of the position. So instead, I keep her on. This was correct. Rook f7 was correct, which I didn't understand at the time. But I think the idea is that now if I ever play here, which is very strong, he's going to be able to play here at some moments. Taking is kind of crazy to me. Taking, I probably take back with my pawn. It says take back with the queen. This seems kind of crazy. But I think his idea was he was going to be able to move over to g7. And he's getting his rook to f7 now to be able to laterally defend. But we found some tactics to break through. h5 is correct. Something like this doesn't really cause any harm. I was trying to work out what happens here. Because he can go here now. I've only just now realized I can maybe go to c2. d2 is what the computer says. I was kind of right to, in my head, see like this and realize that this is not the best. But now that I actually have this here, I'm like, wait, can't I just go here? But then he would have this. I think this was kind of hard to figure out that this is fine. But then I get some time to do something. So this doesn't really accomplish anything. I could have taken on g6 right away. But he played here instead. Takes. h6 is obviously the more accurate square. I was a little bit worried about some knight before. So I give my opponent another turn, but what is he supposed to do? Computer comes up with knight d8, possibly coming over here for defense, which actually maybe is, you know, pretty incredible idea. But instead he goes here. I'm able to drop back, and now this tactic. Start with this. How well did we do it? Rook h7 wins even faster. Knight takes g5 is as accurate as taking here. But the main tactical idea was to remove this guy, and the opponent resigns because now if you take this knight, I'm going to be delivering this. You don't have a lot of good options if here. This is simply a checkmate, and if you go somewhere else, ooh, this one is the nicest. This one's the nicest checkmate? I don't know. You can let me know in the comments below how you would checkmate your opponent in this position, but that one feels fine to me. So if you like this gambit, make sure you subscribe.